sir. This is week 10 of the Nuff Said Sports Podcast. My name is Adam Dickens, and that is Trey Adams, the best co-host on the planet. And this is week 10, episode 10 of the Nuff Said Podcast. This week we are going to be talking about Jalen Brown's big contract extension. We're going to be talking about the AFC North, and we are going to be talking about a lot of these big extensions, like Justin Herbert's contract extension, a couple injuries that came up this today. Actually, Jalen Ramsey and Joe Burrow. So we got a lot to get to. With that being said, cue the intro. Yes, sir. We are back. Thanks to Sonorous Wave for the intro song. Get me hyped. Get me started for this video. Plus, we got some great content to talk about today. Trey, how are you, sir?
Trying to keep up with all this football stuff. I like the flow of things. So, but I'm feeling good. You?
We warming up, baby. It's warming up. You know it's real when we got injuries and contract extensions and training camp going on. One of my favorite times of the year. We can really get warming up for the real football season coming up. Soon we're going to be busy, man. Soon we're going to be busy. It's going to be flat out drama from bottom to top. It's going to be more than we can keep up with. But that's why we here.
Looking forward to it.
How's life? Everything good? Family straight?
Yeah, trying to make it day to day. This normal lifestyle shit, getting used to it, but it is what it is. You?
Absolutely. Same here. Getting ready for the big move. And that's a lot because I got to start packing boxes. But who cares about that? We don't really... No one cares about our personal lives. They just want to hear us talk sports. With that being said... Again, this is episode 10, and make sure you guys give us a chance and follow us on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube Shorts, YouTube in general. Make sure you give us a follow. We post damn near every day and try to, give you guys some good content. So make sure you give us a good follow. Trey, you got anything to say about that?
Nah, just continue to comment, like, dislike. Tell us what we do wrong. Tell us how you're feeling that day. Look, if you're having a shitty day and you need somebody to go take your anger out on, that's what we there for. Somebody say some bullshit, call us out on the bullshit. It might not be bullshit, but to you it's bullshit. But we might think what you're saying is bullshit. You get what I'm saying here? Bullshit.
Either way, we like interacting with people, even if they are full of shit. I don't mind going back and forth. That's the one thing. What we say on this channel, we 10 toes down. We gonna stand on it. Either me or Trey. Hell, sometimes I just be arguing for you. To be honest, I just like to be arguing with folks. Just stating because I feel like a lot of people watch videos, man. They don't really know what they like. They just want to say something. Like they don't really believe in what they say. Most of the time, they watch ESPN and they just want to rinse and repeat the same shit that Stephen A. said. Or whoever their favorite sports commentary comes from.
Kendrick Perkins.
Yeah, fucking Kendrick Perkins, and everybody want to talk about a 6-piece wing combo and shit. Like, they don't know what they talk about. But either way, we enjoy interacting with you guys, so make sure you run the channel by. And, get burnt in the comment section. Just let me know if you guys want the smoke, so... Trey, I'll let you take the lead. Go ahead. We hit these NBA topics up.
First topic, NBA. Jalen Brown with the biggest contract in NBA history so far. 5-year, $305 million. The annual average being $60 million. First person to reach that mark. The guy is a beast. He is an all-NBA team player. First team player. But that is an overpay. A freaking overpay. In a sense of, again, it's going to raise the market for the league with these new young stars coming out and getting these extensions. It just reset the value of everything. I think it was probably a good fit for him to stay there in Boston, being Jalen Brown. It was a good fit. Um, I mean, they're going to be competing for years and years. So team wise, it was a good move for them. They felt like they desperately needed, but that was a little bit of an overpay.
I think you make a good point as far as it being a overpay, right? I think that, to be honest, I think it's a phenomenal. It's phenomenal. Like, because if Boston doesn't have him, which, I mean, you know this too, like, they're not a Eastern Conference winner. They're not relevant when it comes to the championship talk if they don't have him. And you just got Porzingis, so you're going to run with him knowing he's got injury issues. It's I don't think nobody really wants to pay Jalen Brown $300 million. Let's be honest, right? Nobody wants to pay Jalen Brown $300 million, but you got to. He's. We're going to talk about it several times on this podcast today. He's on the carousel, the money carousel, right? You go around every 4 years, you go around and you get paid, and that's what it is. He just so happened to it be his time, right? I'd rather it be him than somebody that we really don't like, such as, I don't know, give somebody like Porzingis. Like, let's just say it just so happened to be him, or Randall, right? We rather not be him.
Yeah, definitely.
At least it's somebody with the skill set. At least he's a number 2, and if we're honest, he could be a number 1 for another team. And so either way, for the Celtics, it's going to be strapped tight when it comes to paying other people. It's going to be strapped tight. And, I'm sure the locker room, this is the funny thing about players getting paid, right? And we're going to talk about this again, is everybody get paid. Everybody's, oh, yeah, I'm so happy he got paid. But people looking around in the locker room, like, so what am I getting paid? Where the money at for me? It's a funny thing. For example, we'll get to it when we get to it, but we know Justin Herbert got paid, right? Well, Chargers social media going around interviewing people. So what do you think about Justin getting paid? And then it goes to Keenan Allen, and he says, what do you think? Oh, great, he's taking me out to dinner. And then each player goes around, and then it gets to Austin Eckler. No, this man been asking for money. And they're like, what do you think? Oh, it's great. It's great, and it just cuts off. I think it's just hilarious, man. And that Celtics locker room gonna be looking around, knowing that they got players that need to get paid. They didn't pay Grant Williams; he went off somewhere else. The
number 2 option, though. The number 2 option on your team is getting paid the most in the league. That doesn't even make sense.
Yep.
It just doesn't make sense.
It's that carousel, man. It's that carousel. And God, and the truth is, I don't know, man. It's hard for a number 2 to get paid that good. But he could be a number 1. If he went to Houston, he'd be a number 1. If he went to a lot of these little markets, he'd be number 1.
Absolutely, and that's where again it resets the market for these supermax players, and again the league has to, or the other owners, the other teams, they got to get with the program now, because now they seeing what that is. So the next superstar, that's going to be needing an extension. Oh, they gonna be getting the bank. His teammate Jason Tatum in 2 years, he gonna need a new extension. So, and if he got 305 in 2 years, the value is going to be going up and up because of all the deals the NBA is getting. So they just going to be bringing in more money. He might be the first to break 400 mil. He might.
It's true. But on top of this, right? With high pay becomes high expectations, is all I like to say.
Facts.
And with that being said, I don't want to hear no longer that Jalen Brown can't dribble with his left hand. I don't want to hear, the team chemistry won't right in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. You're getting paid $300 million.
I agree.
You better deliver on results. You gotta have that, and that's it has to happen. I don't want to hear, the coaching situation, Like, I don't want to hear that shit. I don't want to hear the bullshit. You get paid $300 million. between you and Tatum, who's going to reset the market when it's his time to resign, y'all got the money comes with the results. And I don't want to hear nothing short of it's my fault or I feel like it's unfair. I get talked about like I do in the media. I don't want to hear that. I want results. I want championships. You guys getting all this money and you're in Boston of all places. When we talk about championship expectations, Boston is as good as it gets. If you don't play, the Lakers and Boston go hand in hand when it comes to championship expectations. And now you getting paid. Go ahead, get. Ain't Yankees. I ain't talking baseball, bro. Don't get me talking about baseball. We just wearing just a hat. I'm trying to go in the hat game. You know what I'm saying? You said expectations will come to the hats. You know, I'm coming with it. I'm going a little ball. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to go in the hat game.
You're doing a lot of clashing right now. You're talking all this Boston, but you got on the Yankees. Just signals. That's it.
Whether we talking the Yankees, whether we talking Boston, we talking Lakers, we talking the Celtics, the championship expectations for championship pay. Now, if this was the Yankees, hell, they just pay whoever they want for the damn team. Or back in the day, they used to. Now you really can't do that. Shit, they have Ohtani. They had everybody on the damn roster. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, it's just championship expectations. I don't want to hear any more about the results that they're getting. I mean, I don't want any excuses. I want expectations met, which means you better not get paid even more if you don't get a championship by the time your shit comes around next time on the pay carousel. I want to see that. That's at the end of the day.
He better go pay for another. He better go pay for a left hand. That's all I got to say.
Something. Yeah, I kind of feel with these high contracts and the low contract situation, I wonder if players might start paying other players. Now, I'm not saying it will ever happen, but like if it's me and I really want to win, I'm taking some of that $300 million every year. I'm like, a little under the table type of pay, to get a player to come. You know what I'm saying? By any means necessary. If I'm LeBron, I might scoop a little $15 million. Come to the Lakers. That's all I'm saying.
On top of your regular contract.
Oh hell yeah, because you got so many people getting paid the vet minimums now, and there's pretty much high or low pay. So somehow, you know what I'm saying? These role players gotta get paid. So how it come to? But yeah,
true.
That's all I got. You squeezed all the passion out of me.
Look, now that's it for the NBA at this point. Like I said, it's the off season. We kind of just chilling with the NBA cruising. If stuff comes out, we'll report it. Everything else right now is just kind of under the radar, and we moving on to football at that point.
Absolutely. Before we move on to our midpoint break or our break from the NBA to the NFL content, I want to remind you guys our stream schedule from now on will be Thursdays at 9 o'clock. We are live, baby. We bring in the energy, and we want to put on a great show. So if you do want to check us out, make sure you check us out on Kick, YouTube Live, 9 o'clock every Thursday. If that does change because we both got full-time jobs and full-time families, we will let you know. But for right now, it's 9 o'clock on Thursdays. Plus, I'm moving, so that's going to be a little thing. But either way, check us out. We'll let you guys know the schedule and go from there. With that being said, we have a message from our wonderful sponsor in DREADSOCK. And commercial is going to play in just a minute. With that being said, start the commercial. Alright guys, we are back. Thank you to DREADSOCK. If you have locks or protective hairstyles, make sure you hit that website up. Instagram, dreadsock.com, or at DREADSOCK is the Instagram handle. Check them out. Make sure you go buy something. Tell them that the Nuff Said Sports Podcast sent you. And yeah, that's how we run it, baby. Yeah, man. Last week we talked about how whether teams should pay running backs or if they shouldn't pay running backs, what they deserve. And I think we got somebody bailed out on the running back support squad, and they signed a 1-year deal. Talk about it, Trey.
He a rat for that, man. What a fucking rat.
Yeah.
We done made a whole support group for you, and you done started something, and you had these great superstars behind you saying, yeah, we needed one person to stand out. And then you fucking stab them in the back and go sign this bullshit ass 1-year deal. This is a fugazi deal. Freaking Saquon signing the 1 year, $11 million contract with a little bit of incentives, or a $2 million signing bonus and some more incentives. Which his franchise tag was obviously a 1-year deal for about $10.19 million. Explain to me what the fuck is the difference in that, please. Anybody? I'll wait.
I tried looking it up, and the franchise tag would have been fully guaranteed itself. So I don't understand. I still can't explain the difference. The only thing I can maybe see Saquon trying to say is we're no longer signing franchise tags. And what's crazy about that is if he would have signed it and they try to force him to sign it again next year, his salary would have went up by like 120% is what the second price. If you get franchise tag twice, your salary goes up 120%, which means he would have been the second highest paid running back in the league. So you got me. I don't know. I don't understand. But go ahead. Go off, King.
That's basically it. I just think I don't know if it was somebody was in his ear or again maybe his true character came out and he was just like, I'm all about football. I want to be there for my team. I'll show them through my actions that I'm gonna be there for them. And I'm a giant. I want to be here. I'm gonna just make sure that we get this done because I want to be on the field with my guys. If that's really your MO, your MO here, by all means, my guy, I respect it. But if you still trying to get paid, and we all know the life of the NFL stands for not for long, not National Football League. You need to get your money and get the fuck out of there. But clearly not. So by all means, if anything happens next offseason and it happens differently where he does get paid, I will eat a whole sock on fucking stream. But if not, and this shit backfires on his dumb ass, he deserves it. And then every other running back is going to feel the wrath of this shit.
I'm with you. I do think he kind of bailed out and just kind of left everybody else hanging as far as the running backs, since they had their little support group that you talked about last week going. I read an article, right? Who gives a fuck about an article? But he pretty much said he had an epiphany. This is how he phrased it. He had an epiphany that he only cares about football and that he wants to spend his whole career with the Giants, and that's why he just wanted to get a deal signed, and so he signed that instead of the franchise tag. But before you push too hard on him, I do think that some of the running backs have learned a lesson, right? By the great Le'Veon Bell, instead of holding out and losing all the money and the money that he did leave out on and pretty much ruin his whole career, that at least they signed something and he didn't hold out because, Le'Veon didn't have, a whole little crew of running backs to support him, but at least he is playing football. At least he's staying relevant, and at least he's not getting fined every week. He's not showing up. But you did leave your brothers hanging. I think the responsibility doesn't go on the running backs. The responsibility goes on the NFLPA, because you guys are supposed to be the representatives for the players. And if you have an underrepresented group in the running backs, it's you guys' job in the NFLPA to speak up about it. You guys are getting paid a certain percentage of each contract to represent these players. Then you need to represent them and speak up for them. You have the lawyers. You have the educated personnel in order to speak up for these guys who might not necessarily be able to speak up for themselves in the most elaborate, eloquent way. So you guys are there for them. Be there. or else get replaced. Because this is an issue where the running backs do need to get paid more. Even though I don't agree with that stance. But you guys are supposed to be there. So actually be there and do your job. They're getting pretty much holed out and prostituted in the damn CBA. Right? So do your job. What are you there for? And I think none of this, the running backs not getting paid like they should, this won't change until you really get these quarterbacks, these big name quarterbacks, and the new, Patrick Mahomes, the Joe Burrows, the Lamar Jacksons, the Justin Herberts who just got paid, to really speak up for all of these players. We've never seen, and really this should have happened when Tom Brady and Peyton Manning and Drew Brees were there, to really stand up with the NFLPA and really try to get players better contracts and get better conditions. Because I feel like no one listens unless the faces of football really speak up. And they really have the power. But that would never happen in our lives, right? Our grandchildren, I don't even think that will happen when our grandkids, our great-great-grandkids will be, born. And that will never happen. But that's the only time change will come is when the quarterback starts speaking up, because they run the market and they run these teams and they're the face of the franchises. These running backs, they don't care about them. And anything that you really want in the CBA, you've got to have a quarterback speak up. But again, that'll never happen. I think if anything, Lamar Jackson might be able to one day speak up, just because he is like the perfect in between of a running quarterback, but like he can do both. But he'll never do it. He'll never speak up. I think he could, if he chose to, he could really start something. But I don't think that will ever happen in the history.
Bro can't even talk right without being ratchet. That motherfucker ain't speaking for nobody but his damn self. That motherfucker ain't doing that shit. He's not the most well-spoken quarterback. I'll say that. You know what I'm saying? Ain't he in Baltimore too? Probably. What's that Baltimore accent they be doing? The twos and threes and shit. That shit is hilarious, dog. When somebody from Baltimore is talking, you just automatically hear the accent. Just hilarious. She got the most Baltimore ass accent on the planet. Like, her shit is crazy. But yeah, obviously, Lamar Jackson ain't got a Baltimore accent, but he's just there. Anyways, go ahead. I'm right here with you. He's sold out, and now you got people like you said, Austin Eckler gonna be left in the dust. Jonathan Taylor now, and I don't know if you're keeping up with the issue with him and the owner Irsay. They going back and forth over here tweeting stuff like he don't got training camp this week. Like it's about to get crazy with these deals, man.
I was gonna bring up the Irsay stuff, but I didn't think you wanted to talk about it, right? The Irsay stuff
is relevant. It's relevant to this. It's all about this. It's all tied in.
I hate the Irsay comments because he knew exactly what he's very, very, very foolish man, but very smart man in how he came about this argument. Because essentially he's hiding behind the CBA. In his comments, he pretty much hid behind the CBA as if there was nothing else that they could do about, we're just using the rules of the CBA and they should renegotiate and all this. Man, you're just hiding behind it. And that's just what it is. But you can't hide behind that CBA when you talk to Jonathan Taylor or when you talk to Jonathan Taylor's family. You can't hide behind the CBA. And when they ask you like that. And you got to talk to someone man to man. But, of course, when you talk to newspapers and the media outlets or you on Twitter, you can hide behind the CBA. But you can't do that when you talk to a man in his face and when you really have some negotiations. That's just, of course, when you're the owner, you're going to bring up the CBA. But, it's and you got Roger Goodell fucking tap dancing around shit. Like, he don't never, man, I can't. Just,
he's too busy riding around in his private jet. He ain't paying no attention to this shit.
Yeah, I mean, what the hell? Who'd you talk about right before that? Right before the Irsay shit? Who else were you talking about?
Austin Eckler.
And then you got the Saquon move looks even worse so he settles for the 1 year deal, right? And he bails out on the running backs. And you got Joe Mixon, who pretty much cut his contract in half and took a pay cut just to stay with the Bengals. You're like, they running backs are getting fucked from the front and the back, dog. Like they getting a train ran on them right now, and ain't shit can save them. And
they taking it. They just taking it.
they just taking it. They just taking it. It's man, and you know what? And to throw even more water on it, I ain't trying to drag this out even longer, but it shows a lack of unity when it comes to these situations, and it comes to show that everybody's gonna do. This is a saying I've been hearing for like the last 2 weeks. Everyone's gonna do what's in their best interest. Everybody's going to do it. So when it comes to the money, these contracts, you start these little support groups like Saquon and the running backs did. But when they smell the money and they remember the Le'Veon Bell situations and all this other stuff, you each running back, we support each other. Nah, they're going to be trickling out. It's like what it reminds me of? It reminds me of a fucking scary movie, right? The fucking Jason movies where, we'll split up, guys, we'll run around. And then each one gets fucking murked by Jason every time they turn the corner because they not together. If you really want to make some change and you really want to change for the running backs, y'all got to come together. But these owners is face fucking you right now.
I literally just had in my head freaking all of them motherfucking, all the running backs in the same group chat, like all 32 starting running backs. In a group message on an iPhone, and then you see Saquon Barkley leaves chat after he done signed the fucking deal.
Goddamn, that's exactly what it is, man. That's exactly what that shit is.
Funny. That is funny. You just see Saquon leave chat, and next thing you know, you get a notification he signs 1 year deal.
And I bet you fucking Derrick Henry or one of these other damn running back, fucking Austin Eckler probably put like a little ... waiting for them Saquon to say some shit.
This motherfucker here.
Man, these running backs getting face fucked. This don't make sense, man. Like it's eight. Oh, you know what? You know what this remind me of? It remind me of I don't know how much you pay attention to shit. But I know you've been hearing about the Lena the Plug sex tape fucking Adam 22, bro. They are literally getting fucked by what's the dude name? The porn star? Love. Yeah, fucking Jason Love, fucking 14-inch cock, just getting fucked. And you got to go home to your husbands, your other running backs. And they just like,
hey, guys, how are you today? Fuck out of here. You left the chat.
God, man. It's crazy, man. Just getting fucked. Everybody's just getting a train ran on them.
But you know who's not getting fucked? Fucking Justin Herbert. My man just got paid. And it is well deserved. I'm going to say it first. Well deserved, Herbert. I was a fan since Oregon. And it sucks you when you're not a Bronco, but that's dumbass John Elway fault. But anyway, 5 year, $262 million. About to make $52 million a year starting next year. Well, not this upcoming season, but the following. I think it's well deserved. Because stat-wise, statistically, he's up there with the best of the quarterbacks. He is. His team ain't producing, but that ain't got nothing to do with him. He doing his job. Everybody knows he got the fucking cannon. If not the second, third strongest arm in the league. He's accurate. His coaching just sucks, and his team can't stay healthy for shit. But other than that, it's well deserved. Some people would be like, "Oh, he ain't win the playoff game. They was up against the Jags and they blew the lead." And who's calling those plays? He's not comfortable enough to sit there and do audibles and all that. No, he don't have an offensive-minded coach. His coach is straight analytics. That's not the coach for him. I bet you if he would have got a Sean Payton, you would have seen he would win MVP this year because of what those two minds can do together. But what I'm trying to get across is the man is a beast. He's talented as fuck, and I do think this contract is very, very well deserved.
Trey, you know what I think? I think you're fucking disrespectful to the sports world, okay? I think you're disrespectful, and I think that the Chargers are disrespectful for paying this man the highest contract on the market. That's what I think. I think it's absolute buffoonery that this man is getting paid like he is. The fact that you're getting paid like you're Jalen Hurts, like you've been to a Super Bowl or something, that's disrespectful. You're getting paid higher than Lamar Jackson, MVP. You're getting paid higher than him. Disrespectful. Okay? You're getting paid higher. Well, Patrick Mahomes signed a very friendly contract, but you're getting paid higher than Patrick Mahomes. Disrespectful. Okay? Let's go down I got another list. Hold on. We're going to keep this going. You're getting paid higher than Aaron Rodgers, MVP, Super Bowl winning quarterback. You're getting paid higher than him. Okay? That was before the pay cut. Okay? You're getting paid higher than Russell Wilson. Okay? Super Bowl quarterback. Disrespectful. Okay, what? You gonna fight the Russell Wilson point? Huh? No? Because you're not. Because you're a Broncos fan. Okay? It's disrespectful. The only thing that's not disrespectful is he's getting paid higher than Kyler Murray because of obvious situations. It's not disrespectful that he's getting paid higher than Deshaun Watson because he's a rapist. It's not. It's not disrespect. He's getting paid higher than Josh Allen, who's had some playoff success, right? That's all the quarterbacks I'm going to stop at because that's really the only ones that's relevant. It's disrespectful that without any results, he gets paid. And I understand he's on the carousel of quarterbacks, that it's just his time to get paid. But I want results. I don't want stats. I don't the filling up the stat sheet I could care less about because it hasn't resulted in playoff wins. It's only resulted in one season where his team has won 10-plus games. And I don't want to hear the injury core because you play in the NFL. Teams go through injuries. Quarterbacks do more with less. Okay? And they still get paid. But I want results. And I hate when these quarterbacks, bro, I'm about to have a brain aneurysm. Because the fact is, he's getting paid without results. He hasn't worked. There's nothing to show for the stats that he's putting up on the board. You have a good receiver in Mike Wallace, okay? Who's okay. He's a little overrated. I'll say that because, whatever, jump ball receiver who's always getting fucking hurt. He is getting hurt. You got Keenan Allen who's getting up there in age, but he's a Pro Bowl wide receiver, okay? You got Khalil Mack on the defense, who's not as great as what he was with the Bears, but he's still good. You got the Bosa brother. He's there running things. You got Derwin James, who stayed hurt. He's had some crazy situations. But who cares? Injuries happen. If you're as good as what you say you are, you deliver on getting paid. I'm not paying you. Essentially, they pay him for future. We hope you'll be okay. We hope we get a playoff win. The truth is, we don't know if what we've seen the last 3 years in his career continues to go the way it is. You won't have a playoff win, but hopefully he gets better.
3 years in 1 year, so he's 0-1 in the playoffs. Out of the 3 years he's made it, he's 0-1. He had
2 coaches.
Lead.
Yep.
He again 2 coaches.
He
clearly ain't. The offense is not centered around him at all. It's just he's that good to adapt to whatever system you put in front of him. He's going to adapt, and he's producing. The team itself is just not good. Every quarterback you named has a better team than the Chargers, but they are not better quarterbacks than Justin Herbert. If you were to sit there and say Jalen Hurts is a better quarterback than fucking Justin Herbert, I would not believe that. If you sat there and said Lamar is a better quarterback than Justin Herbert, I would not believe that.
Wow. Go ahead.
It's just not happening. It's just not happening. Justin Herbert, talent-wise at that position, is better than top 5.
Wait.
He's top.
In the wise words of T.I., do you want to know what talent is? Do you want to know what potential is? It means you haven't did shit yet. And that's exactly what he is. He's talent, he's potential without results.
No. Because
you're great on paper. You're a dream quarterback. He's the sunshine that just lose. He's the sunshine quarterback that just lose. He the bad version of sunshine. That's what I see.
Did Aaron Rodgers win every playoff game when he came into the league? After sitting for however long he sat? No, he didn't. He only, to my knowledge, he only won freaking his playoff record is actually shitty McShit shit. But no, he's still going down as one of the best quarterbacks ever and all this extra shit. And he only got one damn Super Bowl. Whoa. Let's not overreact here. Last
MVPs,
time I checked,
MVPs, baby, MVPs. Let's talk about
my
it.
point. So
MVPs.
but that's regular season. That's regular season. We usually talk about postseason because last time I checked, regular season wise, he's had better regular season.
He's did both. You can't isolate a certain part of he's won MVPs and he's won a Super Bowl.
One. So that's it. He ain't consistently going to the NFC Championship game every year.
And speaking of Aaron Rodgers, he won the Super Bowl when his team was literally the most injured team that year. They had the most injuries in the NFL on their team, and he still won the Super Bowl. So I don't want to hear about injuries.
Again, he put the team on his back then. You're talking about a guy who literally
hasn't put the team on his back.
Literally, sorry, in his career, you're telling him go win me a Super Bowl. With what coaching? You can't. We're literally going to sit here and say Brandon Staley is the best quarterback, is the best coach for him. No, it's not. It's not. So, like he's on the hot seat this year because of that. Dude, his coaching has been horrible, and everybody is realistic enough to realize that. And if you're not, you need to fucking check yourself. Because again, if he had a coach that was willing to game plan around Herbert and unleashed him, bro, he's a top 3 MVP candidate every year. His stats are ridiculous. His TD to interception ratio, ridiculous. His regular season has been better than Joe Burrow's. Look it up. They have been better than Joe Burrow's. So why doesn't he deserve to get paid more than Joe Burrow? Because Joe Burrow's team has been producing in the playoffs. They're well coached. They have a better team around him. Absolutely. But that doesn't mean I would say, if you sit there and say, who are you taking that quarterback right now? You're afraid they're both about to get drafted. Herbert or Joe Burrow. Who are you taking? I'm taking Herbert.
You know what's so funny, bro? Joe Burrow is literally my favorite NFL quarterback. And we'll get to him a little bit more because we got some news to bring up. But I understand that his stats are amazing. And stats are always great. And it almost reminds me of James Harden. Right? Except James Harden's kind of sniffed. He sniffed the Western Conference with Chris Paul. You know what I'm saying? He's been in the Western Conference with KD and Westbrook early in his career. And yes, his stats are great. But the reason why Joe Burrow is so much better is because his stats equate to winning football. The defense for the Bengals hasn't always been hasn't always been great since he's been in the league. Now the last couple of years, yeah, it's been pretty damn good. I'm gonna talk about it a little bit later. But his stats equate to winning. It's almost as if when the big moments come, I need you to be amazing. And so what you've done all throughout the year, I need that in the moment where you're in the playoffs, and you need pretty much sustainable stats equate to winning football, and that's what you need. And I'm assuming I'm not going to put it just on coaching because yes, his coach is fucked up, but you just do the best with what you have.
That's a
and I don't response.
Think grow up.
What?
Grow up. That's a child's response. Grow up.
How's that a child's response? You do the best with what you got. That's an adult response.
No,
things ain't perfect. Things not perfect.
That's
no. You're unrealistic because you're saying he needs a perfect situation. He needs this and that. He needs uninjured teammates. He needs a better coach. Like motherfucker, give this man an all-man fucking team. What the fuck do you need, bro? You need me a quarterback. I mean, you need me a head coach. That's what you need. You need me choosing the Madden plays. PA crossers, baby. PA crossers every fucking play. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not, you don't need ideal situations. It's the quarterbacks that take, because who the fuck were the Bengals before Burrow came? That's how I know Burrow's great. That's how I know he's great. Right? Who the fuck were the Bengals before Burrow came? The Chargers? We've seen the Chargers be somewhat relevant. Phillip Rivers just happened to leave, and they replaced him with a quarterback who puts up great stats. I mean, if you really want to say, Phillip Rivers is very similar to Justin Herbert. If we really want to equate it like that. The lack of playoff success, no MVPs, And he put up good stats. And he had great teammates. But somehow they always injured. The shit always happens. It's the Chargers. You know what I'm saying? Like, but do you really realize what I'm saying though? It's almost a very similar situation to Phillip Rivers if you really think about it. Stop. And if we look back in the next, if we're still doing this podcast in 10 years, and we look back, I wouldn't be surprised if he's still with that team because he's getting paid, right? He signed his contract, and we look back and no MVPs and the lack of playoff success, right? And he's had great teammates. Phillip Rivers had LT, and he had Antonio Gates on the team. Sean Marion, give me some other from the Chargers team when they went against the Patriots in the AFC Championship.
Quentin Jammer.
Oh, that's a real throwback for real. That's crazy.
I mean, he was there. Like you said, Sean Merriman.
I can't think of anybody else. But you know what I'm saying? Like that's what I'm saying.
Antonio Cromartie. Yeah,
he's gonna get one. He's gonna get one shot. Okay, that's what it's gonna come down to because he's gonna get one shot, like Phillip Rivers. Okay, how about this? This season comes by, and let's just say he very similar to last season where they lose in the wild card game. Are you still gonna say the same thing? What will it take for you to really say?
Because their coaching is shitty. You don't understand that. In the playoffs, your coaching matters. If your coach is calling bullshit plays and you're not in that comfort zone where you know you're getting paid like that guy, but technically you're going to listen to your coach. That's why he's on the hot seat. Again, he should have got fired last year. They don't need him. He's wasting their time. Because now we got people like you, sad to say in this world, who are freaking.
I'm a disgrace.
He's just a statistical guy. Is nothing about him that's special and all this extra shit. And it's just like, holy fucking cow! What the hell are you looking at? This guy is the real deal, and he just needs some help. He just needs some help. He can't throw it to himself. He can't fucking call it on. He could call his own plays, but he's not at that level yet. He's not. He's not a diva like that neither. So he needs to take that next step in leadership and be like, this is what I want. This is what needs to happen. But then if he does that, he gets the label as a diva and fucking he answers that Aaron Rodgers, I think I'm the shit, and that's not how Herbert is. That's not Herbie.
No, I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't want to give you the wrong picture that I think he's a bad quarterback or anything like that. I think he's good. I do think he's very similar to Phillip Rivers, where like a top 10 quarterback.
Stop comparing him to Phillip Rivers.
I'm not, because it's so similar.
It's going to bother me. Do not compare him to fucking Phillip Rivers. That motherfucker is way better than Phillip Rivers. Already, way better. Way better.
I mean, I will give you, he's had a 5,000-yard career. Year. He's put up several 4,000. Every year he's been in the league, he put up 4,000 yards.
I'll give you 4. Yes.
He's filling up the stat sheet. And I'm with you on that. I think he's good. I think he makes great flashy plays every now and then. Like very good TikTok real plays. Like it's great. A few changes I want to see if he did have playoff success. What I would do is, yes, I agree with changing the coaching. Okay, get a different coach, somebody who's a better offensive minded coach. Because Anthony Lynn was very defensive minded. I'm not sure about his coach now. I think he's more of an offensive stats type of guy, but I want a very offensive minded type of coach. I also want for him to move on. Not him, but like the team to move on from Keenan Allen. I think a great receiver, but I want him to have almost very similar type of receivers as Kansas City, where they're very short, fast, and youthful guys. I want to see that. Quentin Johnson was a great rookie they signed. I'm happy about that. Even though Steve Smith shits on him, but Quentin Johnson, I think is a great rookie for them. Great first round pick. I think he was in the first round. And I would move on from Mike Wallace because Mike Wallace is probably my least favorite receiver as far as starters go. He's my
Williams.
I think he's overrated. He's fucking just jump ball, lands on his back. Oh, my fucking spine will stop fucking being reckless and jumping up in the ball. Jumping up in the air for a ball you're probably not going to get anyway, just because that's your reputation. But that's my major changes. The I do think it's something about the Chargers and just fucking being injured. Like, it's just the fucking team or what, it's a curse, whatever the fuck. I like, it's something because it's fucking routine every fucking year or something. It's no reason why Derwin James should be hurt 2 to 3 years fucking straight every fucking chance we get.
I agree. Like I said, get rid of that whole, oh, you got over 6'1" receivers thinking that it's gonna beat. No, you need speed. You need blah blah blah. And they got Guyton. They're getting that pieces that they need. But again, get rid of the main issues and get better pieces to build around, etc. I agree. But long story to wrap up this segment of Justin Herbert. Well deserved. You'll show everybody in the rest of the world why why you deserve that contract this year when you're a top 5 MVP candidate.
Yeah. I mean, I think I would say he's a top 10 quarterback. I'll give you that.
All right, we're moving on because you're
hold
disrespecting
on. When I say top 10, I mean like in the 6 to 7 range. I don't mean like the bottom 10, 9, 8. I'm not going to be as high as you. I'm not. It's just not going to happen. But anyways, yeah. So what's next? Trevon Diggs extension. What does he? Oh, go ahead, because you had a very interesting stance on Trevon Diggs. And I'm probably on the same page with you. So go ahead.
This move by the Cowboys just showed how pretty much desperate they are to try to keep their players, their homegrown players, and try to keep them and overpay them to try to keep them happy. And they think that is a formula for success. And that has never been a formula for success for the Dallas Cowboys. And you pretty much just overpaid for a wide receiver turned cornerback to continue to get beat on double routes. And you're about to pay this man close to $20 million a year. That was really the fucking stupidest shit I ever seen. That was just fucking stupid.
He's getting burned on more than double routes. I'll tell you that.
Because he's jumping everything. He's a wide receiver turned corner, and he thinks he knows the route, which he does have good instincts. But some of those times, again, he's being baited, and every quarterback knows it. He's just getting burnt a lot. And again, last year he cut back on getting burnt so much, but then he just, you just overpaid this guy. Plain and simple, you just overpaid this guy. That was not a good look on the league, but I don't think the league is going to, in a sense of other good corners or young corners, I don't think they're going to replicate what the hell they just saw the Cowboys do. I think they're going to look at that and be like, you're stupid, I'm not doing that, and I'm going to let you shoot your own self in the foot, and I'm not doing that shit.
Yeah, I think what is very, the stat that came out, right? And I think this supports what you said is he's had the most interceptions since he's came into the league, I believe. And he's also given up the most yards for a cornerback in the league. That's a crazy stat. And while I'm not as strong as you are on it, I do think that if he is your cornerback and you're paying him this money and this is the style of football you want your defense to pay, you have to literally plan your whole defense around him. Because if it's this go big or go home type of philosophy that you want him to play a cornerback, then you have to go all the way into it. You have to pretty much have a crazy pass rush because you want those quarterbacks to make crazy fast decisions so he can bite on those quick plays. You have to, your linebackers, you need blitzing linebackers. You want all the pressure in the universe so this man can bite on those plays. That's what you want. And the more pressure you get, the better he does. But do you really want to base your whole defense around this one cornerback? If you're not going to do that, if you're not going to base your whole defense somewhat like the Rams did with Jalen Ramsey, base the whole defense around him, then it's a losing philosophy and it's a losing strategy. Because he's going to keep getting burnt and teams are going to keep going up and down on the field. And your offense, because they're going to be coming out a lot more often, they're going to be tired. Dak Prescott already throws a lot of interceptions. You don't need that to keep happening. Mm-hmm. So it needs to be a bend but don't break type of defense strategy as you got going, and you guys are breaking way too much. So have those talks with him. Get him to be a little bit more reserved. pick his places. Someone who is very similar to him is Marcus Peters, that we've talked about on this podcast before, who just signed with the Raiders. Is too aggressive. You got to pick your times where you need to be aggressive. If you're going to pay this money, I'm assuming you want him long term. So treat him as such. Really coach him. I would say bring as many cornerbacks in like him as possible. Some vets. Probably should have signed Marcus Peters to really be his what's the term? His
mentor.
Mentor or have him as an understudy, whatever. Like you got to do something with this. But paying a lot of money, Dallas does what Dallas does, and they throw a lot of money at people, especially the big stars.
And just to piggyback off of that, I definitely think them getting Stephon Gilmore, who had a solidified career, established career rather. I do think them getting him, he can be that mentor for him. He could teach him the ropes of you got the good ball instincts. You know how to reroute by yourself. I don't need to teach you how to reroute. What I need to teach you is how to be patient and how to read the route completely through and on top of what you already got. So again, I do think that was a good matchup with them two on the outside. Again, it's going to look scary at some times. It definitely is. It's like, oh my God, who you going to pick with or pick on? But I get that move. It was a smart move. Hopefully it does. You're able to get that mentee. For you get Diggs to be that mentee and you get Gilmore to be the mentor. And I'm hoping that again it doesn't backfire because I actually like Diggs. I do like him, but I think it was just an overpay. Right now, it's an overpay in my book.
I hate to say it, I want to keep talking about this because you're giving me some great ideas to bounce off of. With Stephon Gilmore, is you almost essentially have to put Stephon Gilmore on the right side as a man corner, have Trevon Diggs on the left side, and so the weak side where Stephon will be on that first read, your number one essentially, and then have Trevon Diggs on that left side for the second read for most, the secondary receiver, because he is so aggressive that the ball takes a little bit longer because most quarterbacks are right-handed. So when that ball is going through the air, it's going to take longer to get to the left side of the field, and Trevon Diggs has more of a chance to really be aggressive and bite on those balls. Pause. That's crazy, bro. Crazy. Bite on the balls. Yeah, face fucked. Getting face fucked. Okay, lean to the plug. And to throw it on, if that's the man, with those two, with the extension to Trevon Diggs and signing Gilmore, you are a man-to-man team, and because of that, to take it a step further, them safeties. If Trevon Diggs keeps playing the way he is, you better have some dependable safeties that aren't going to get pissed every time he gets burnt, because they're going to have to save his ass. His ass.
I agree.
And it's going to be a lot of one-man safeties because you're playing man-to-man. It's going to have to be, unless you're playing like a man zone type of situation where, your safeties aren't in the zone. But you're going to be in a lot of one safety looks because of the way you shaped your cornerback room. And if not, bro, you better have some safeties with some patience, because this man going to keep getting fucking burnt, and it's not going to be a good look. And now you got locker room problems because Trayvon's biting on a lot of stuff. And I guarantee they probably had some problems in the locker room last year. I promise you. I don't care how many interceptions he's getting. It's going to be a problem between your cornerbacks and safeties, and
continues. Yeah, I agree.
That's just a tertiary thought to go on. Something very behind the scenes that you see in the documentary between your safety. Because what's the cornerback for the Panthers? Jackson. What's his first name? Dante Jackson. He was very similar in that aspect, and I think it was Hard Knocks or like the Panthers like a YouTube series documentary where like the vets had to pull him aside, like, hey man, you jumping a lot of shit, and we're gonna need you to dial back on that. And like they had a whole conversation on it. I didn't think about it until after I made the point, but those are conversations that's going on in that locker room. Nick Bosa, go ahead. There's some great content, by the way. We not even getting to like the good shit yet, and we really nose diving into getting face fucked and biting balls and my bad. Go ahead, pause.
Go ahead with Nick Bosa. Go ahead.
Nick Bosa is holding out. He hasn't been going to training camp or any practice sessions or any type of team facility trainings until he gets paid. And he's wanting that big money from the 49ers. And so it's a testy situation. He's going to get paid some big money. I think that, speaking of, he's not going to team activities because he doesn't want to get hurt in the middle of negotiations. And speaking of not getting hurt, Joe Burrow came with a calf injury, quote unquote, today off of the Bengals practice field. Also, Jalen Ramsey got carted off the Miami training field. It's a lot of injuries going around, and this is the first week of training camps. And if you're holding out, or like Joe Burrow, who's in the middle of negotiations for his big contract, like we talked about with Justin Herbert, there is that chance of getting injured. So I think Nick Bosa seems like he's being very smart about this, and a lot of big name players, highly paid players, usually hold out until that negotiation gets done, so they don't get hurt. I think with, sorry, I'm bouncing off a lot of ideas in my head right now, but Joe Burrow not doing this, he's not pulling leverage, and to me, it's like a lot of people would call this hardball. Essentially, is you're using every little bit of leverage you can until negotiations get done. But it seems very smart, based on what I'm seeing. What do you think, Trey, about Nick Bosa and him holding out?
Is needed. I think him seeing like these offensive linemen getting fucking paid woo-wop recently. Being the Texans, it was a Texans lineman, the Giants lineman, Andrew Thomas. Joe is getting paid, and he just like, yo, I'm a defensive lineman, and this is what I'm able to produce. Y'all know my track record. Where's my money? And that's why he just like, well, I'm gonna just completely hold out. Like I ain't even about to mess with y'all. Y'all worried about y'all quarterback situation. Y'all ain't about to have no pass rusher. Y'all better pay me. And I'm with him on that. Like he obviously top 3 pass rusher in the league, young. Again, defensive leader. Pay that man. Stop playing with him and pay that man. So at this point, I don't blame him. I mean, I do think San Fran is going to throw the bag at him. So I'm not worried about it. It's just a matter of time. I don't think it's going to be no big, like he's going to miss games or anything like that. But he's going to get paid. So it's just a matter of time.
Yeah, no, he's definitely going to get paid. And San Francisco really isn't known for being stingy when it comes to money, just because they do have so much talent on their defense. If they are going to move on from you, they just don't sign you, period. Like most of the time, they just let you know, and they'll let you move on to another team. But I can't remember a top-notch not free agent, but player from the 49ers that doesn't get paid. I mean, hell, if they're willing to sign running backs to big money, then I'm pretty sure they're willing to or trade for him anyways. They're gonna definitely sign Nick Bosa to some big money. He's gonna have, bro's gonna be swimming in fucking cash, bro. Swimming in cash. AFC North is what we're talking about today. Am I fair to say this is one of the best conferences? Not conference. What's the fucking term? Help me out. Division. It's one of the best divisions in the NFL right now, in my opinion. I could honestly see all of these teams will have a chance to go to the playoffs, in my opinion. Not all of them will go. I would say, based on the new playoff rules, 3 out of the 4 will probably go. But all 4 will have a chance, a fighting chance. There's only one, in my opinion, that's debatable, whether they'll be there or not. I would say the worst team on this list, Trey, and give a reaction as soon as I say it. The worst team on here is, just like their logo, is some shit. The Cleveland Browns is the worst team out of the AFC North, in my opinion. And they are the only team that's in question whether they will go to the playoffs or not. In my opinion. Do you want me to elaborate before you react? Or you seem like you're being very animated at the moment.
What the fuck did I just hear?
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. You
okay,
go ahead, please.
I think the Browns are the worst team in the AFC North. Not because of talent. They have plenty of talent, and they have a good coaching staff. The whole 9 yards. They have great talent. But this whole entire team comes down to Deshaun Watson and whether he bounces back from last year's fiasco and how terrible that was. I will say he might have that was his warm-up year. Okay, from his rubber tugs, you know what I'm saying? He's getting back from that suspension. He's finally making some real money this year, so he has some incentive, some real incentive to make some plays. But I'm not just totally sure that last year was a fluke. I'm not sold on that. I do think this is a good team. So again, great talented team from defense, offense, everywhere. I think not to help my point, but they have one of the most underrated receiving cores in this division, I say, in the NFL, with Elijah Moore joining from the Jets and Amari Cooper. And you still got Peoples-Jones as a third receiver. Oh, they're good. But I just don't know if Deshaun Watson can be the same quarterback that he was 2 to 3 years ago. I just don't think he can. Something seems so off last year. And
what's up with people and giving people 1 year fucking tryouts and all of a sudden these people are ass now? What the fuck? Next you're gonna say Geno Smith is better than Deshaun Watson, right?
I think he could possibly have a better year, but I don't think he's a better quarterback.
I'm done. That's
fair to say.
I don't know what else to say to you. I don't know what else to say to you anymore.
He has a possibility, a chance to have a better year, but he's not a better quarterback. Like we've seen Deshaun Watson show success and more
That's
success.
all he had is success. That's all. Let's be real. All Deshaun Watson had is success. All he had is success. He had not even a full year after not touching a football for a year, and the team was already out of playoff contention. And it's just, all right, go get your feet wet. Go throw the football around. We suck. We know we suck. Our season is over. But we need you to get this rust off so next year we can come back and be better. We're not going to sit here and everybody's already counting this guy out off of last year, which was what, the 6-8 games he played? Oh my God, he looked horrible. This team didn't look blah, blah, blah. Bro, the season was over. He after training camp, after preseason, he was literally had no contact with the team for freaking 3 months. Like, really? Are you serious? Are we serious? We're going to forget what Deshaun Watson did with Houston when he had no wide receivers and no running back. Like he wasn't the shit getting over there, getting over 4,000 yards with nobodies. Are we really doing that? That's what we're doing. It sounds like that's what we're doing. All because apparently the masseuse fucking took away his fucking football powers, apparently. All of them. They just took it. They sucked out his fucking football powers and he can't throw the ball anymore, apparently. That's what I'm hearing.
I mean, yeah. I get your point, and I'm on the same page with you. I'm right there with you. I'm just unsure. I'm not. Would it surprise me if he threw for 4,000 yards and had 30 plus touchdowns? I wouldn't be surprised. But I'm not so sure that he can repeat that because of last year. Like, the truth is, this is just a fact. We haven't seen him, and I'm not showing this as a mind-blowing fact, but we haven't seen him have success away from the Texans. That's just what it is. Like, you know, in college he had success, but like we just haven't seen him in the NFL because last year was his first year away from them. We just haven't seen it. And because he looked so bad last year, like, granted the Browns were just bad, but like we haven't seen him have that type of success away from them. And I don't think they're the reason for his success, but because it was so bad last year, it brings it. Maybe he's just not the same. Like, he's never been in a position where people absolutely hate this man. Like, he can't post a video on like Instagram or some shit. He's almost one of the most hated quarterbacks right now because of his situation with those masseuses and the rubber thugs. That he's essentially a villain right now. And his whole life has changed since the last time we've seen him have success on the field. And so I'm just concerned, and I'm not sure how he will be next year. But I wouldn't be surprised if he threw for 10 touchdowns or 30 touchdowns next season. He's just a wild card, in my opinion. I don't think he's a bad quarterback. I don't think that. So don't get the wrong impression. I'm not trying to play the border. I just don't know what he'll be, and I'm not going to choose.
You are playing the border. You called yourself out on the bullshit. Thank that. The bullshit I was talking about earlier. You playing the border, so
what's bullshit?
But you're not the only person doing that.
Yes.
We as sports fans need to, let alone NFL specifically, we need to stop when one person has one bad year, criticize and sit there and question them moving forward off of one bad year. We need to stop doing that. As fans and fake analysts, whatever the fuck you want to call yourself in regards to a player or a team. One bad year does not define you moving forward, let alone if it wasn't even a full year. Regardless if it was a full year or not, 1 year does not define you. And the fact that people do that, let alone especially with NFL quarterbacks, is the dumbest shit I've ever heard. Like, again, if they had consistency of being bad years in the sense of, like, sad to say, Mariota, then you can sit there and say, okay, this person is on a decline. That's different. 1 year does not define them. Freaking Kirk Cousins was not the man or the person that you would think is a starting caliber quarterback for a franchise. And look what he's doing now. Again, he's definitely a starter in the league. He's just not a playoff guy. Okay, cool. But you're a top 32 quarterback and you're a starting quarterback, plain and simple. This guy here was the shit in Houston. I don't give a fuck about his personal life and all the extra shit. I'm talking about what he did on the field. Dude was a fucking cannon. And off of a half a season, people are going like bananas or they can't get past the personal shit. I don't give a fuck about what he did personally. I care about what the fuck he did on the field. I think that's what the Browns mentally thought when they gave him that contract. They was just like, we know what you're capable of. We believe in that. We want that here with the best runner back in the league, with one of the top 3 pass rushers in the league. Like, we just need you to run the show, do what you do, and get us over the hump and win this division. And I think he can still do that. I don't think to sit there and say, which I'm assuming is your next team, I don't think this black and gold team is better than the Browns. No, I do not. So I do not agree with your 4th team being the Browns in this situation.
I would say it like this. And Trey, I'm not proud because you're not my son, but I am. Let me find the word. I appreciate you being so brave and so honorable and to sticking your neck out for a serial rubber tugger, right? You tend to masseuses in that field tend to be Asian of some type of scent, and I can tell by your shirt that you are very proud of Asian culture and that you really stand for Asian people. But there are very few athletes who leave for a year, whether it's an entire year, a year and a half, because of injury or because they were locked up or whatever shit they have going off the field, that can come back from being off for that long, okay? Their entire life changed. I know we only care about players and we just want them to shut up and dribble and pass the ball. You know, I understand we want that. But I look at the full picture. I look at his life has completely changed since the last time we saw him have success. Him as a person is an entire complete... I'm a different person than I was a year ago. So I'm sure he is. Especially going with all the trials and tribulations and the struggle of a routine person who gets massaged all the time has been through. So the only person I can think who has taken this much time off and has came back stronger or evolved as a player is Michael Vick. And I think he's a very small person that can do that. And Michael Vick is a very special athlete and just a person in general. I don't think that Deshaun Watson is the same person. And with that, I don't think he can be the same player that he was when he was with the Texans. Now, yes, is it possible? But I'm more likely to think that he stinks with the Browns, not just because of who he is and how he is as a player, but because he plays for the Browns, and they just routinely just fuck their lives away because they just as an organization they are cursed and just they are what they repeatedly do. And when they have great talent, when they have great situations, they tend to just fuck it away. Okay, very similar to the Cowboys in recent years. They just fuck it away. And because of that, and when I choose to stand on a topic, right? I almost think as if I'm betting, okay? And if I'm going to bet money, what do you do when you bet money? You tend to go through the history of a team or the history of a player or players in the past that have gone maybe through similar situations that he has. And it's not likely that he comes back and is the best player. And to throw it on top of the history of athletes and this team, you throw on an extra little stat of how he was fucking last year. And that's the cherry on top that makes me think more than likely he will come back and play like shit. And that you represent a lot of fans that are hopeful that he will be the guy that he was before the whole situation happened with the masseuses. And it ain't looking too pretty. So I'm glad you're very brave and hopeful. But for me, I go based on stats, history, and current and recent success or lack thereof. And he's given me every example to doubt him. And it's his fault. Essentially, he put himself in the situation.
That's bullshit. Dude went 3-3. Had a 7-5 TD to Into ratio, so he was still over 1. And literally,
he looked like shit on the field. You can throw all the stats you want, but he looked like shit on the field.
The team looked like shit. What the fuck?
I agree with you.
I agree with you. Their season is over. What is he fighting for?
So this whole
he's still out there. He's out there getting the rust.
So this whole team is going to be night and day than it was last year.
They're going to be better than they were last. Dude is old. They're like he didn't just put up fucking crazy numbers with a 4-12 team.
Trey, you had a big lag go on. I don't know what just happened. I'm not trying to stop your momentum, but you I don't know what the fuck just happened. You're good now, but it's like right in the middle of you making your point. Go ahead.
We're not going to act like this guy didn't just have crazy stats with a 4-12 team. And they were not, and he was not the shit. We're not going to act like that. Off of 1 year of complete no football, and then 1 year of coming back from only playing 6 games with a team whose season is already over. Again, now he gets to go through the whole process like it never happened. And again, the whole changed man and all that, he's still going to be the special guy that he was when he came out of Clemson. And I think it's just a matter of showing it now. Now he has to prove it again because of the fucking him getting head. I'm sorry. Some people just love fucking head. I love head. Do you? I would fucking take it. If a motherfucker's offering, shit.
I love good head. His bad head's really bad. Like this is like it can always be good or bad situations. Like no one wants to receive bad head. Like I like if you know what I'm saying. Like it's not like take my money. Like nah, it's better be fire. Nah, but I will say I will put on record right now. Right, I'll put on record right now. If he has a 10-win season next year with the Browns, which if the way you're talking is very realistic, okay. Where do you first off before I make a claim? Where do you think their wins are? And
I think they win 10.
Okay, 10 games. And what did you say where do you have them? The second, third best team in the AFC North?
You really want to know?
I'm just asking. You got them as number one?
I have them tied for number one. Yes,
tied for number one. I mean,
I have
there's
them tied
tiebreakers
for number one in the division. I have them tied for number one.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. I will put it right now. If he has a 10-win record right now, okay, and we need to start a spreadsheet for these bets that we got going on.
Gotcha. Yeah.
But if he has a 10-win season right now, and he essentially turned around the Texans, right? He turned around the Texans, which is a shitty franchise in itself. If he can turn around the Cleveland Browns, okay, this season with 10 wins, and they make the playoffs, I'm tagging that. Make the playoffs and 10 wins. Okay? I'm not even going to talk about stats. If he just equates to team winning, I will call him Black Jesus from now. He will not be referred to as Deshaun Watson. He will be referred as Black Jesus. Okay? Because if he can turn around the Browns and the Texans in one career, he deserves to be called Black Jesus.
The worst two franchises in NFL history. This man untouched and turned around.
If he can do that, then shout out to him. Do you want me to continue?
You can go to the next. Yeah, that's cool.
My next, I have, and it's sad to say it, I have a 3-way tie, if you want me to be honest. Actually, no, I have a tie for second place. I would say tie for second place. I will say my tie for second place, but essentially third, will go to the Baltimore Ravens, and I'm kind of sad to say it. Actually, no. Yes. No. God, I'm torn on this one. I really am.
Clearly, you're torn.
I'm torn. I have a 2-way tie for second place between the Baltimore Ravens and the Steelers, in my opinion. The third team, I'll put the Steelers as my number 3. I'll put the Steelers as my number 3, but essentially they're tied with Baltimore. The Steelers, I love them. I don't think they're a bad team. I think they're a great team. I think the top 3 teams in the AFC North will make the playoffs. The Steelers, with themselves, again, all depend on Kenny Pickett, but that team, specifically that defense, is an elite top 10 defense for the Steelers. Elite. Absolutely from top to bottom, whether you're talking about Fitzpatrick, whether you're talking about TJ Watt. Okay? They had a top 10 defense last year with TJ Watt only playing 10 games. But it is a terrible. It's a noticeable difference when TJ Watt is not on the field. Okay? And I'm not sure if I believe in Kenny Pickett. I'm on the board of it. He played better towards the end of last year because they were trying to make that playoff push. And they started the year with Trubisky. God, I don't know why they decided to do that. It's just not a good decision, but Pickett made up for it at the end. Between Deontay Johnson just dropping balls, just dropping all the balls, I don't know why he fucks up like that. I just don't. I'm not sure if I believe in Kenny Pickett, but God, I will say this: I believe more in Deshaun Watson than I do Kenny Pickett. I'll say that, but I think because that defense for the Steelers is so elite and so great, that's what gives them the edge. I would say over the Browns, and obviously they have a great coach, and he'll get them in the playoff picture somehow. He always does. So that's what I got.
I like Kenny Pickett. I do like him. I think I do like their receiving core. I like what they got, their weapons they got around him. Najee Harris still in that backfield growing. I think their defense again, their secondary. I mean, they have a like you said, top five defense. They always been defensive minded with Mike Tomlin, and they always will be. And that's what keeps them in games. I think this division, like you stated before, is like one of the toughest ones because again, you'll have like the top of the crop usually being the Bengals recently losing to the fucking Steelers away type shit, and it's just like again that's the kind of division it is. It's just that you don't know what you're going to get week in and week out, and I think again that's what scares me about this division when it comes to the playoffs because the AFC this year is going to be so tight, like it's going to be so tight. It's too many good teams in the AFC this year, and this division just makes it clearly worse because again you don't know who's going to come out of this division as the division leader, let alone again who's going to be the second person to possibly squeeze in a wild card. You really don't know. So again, I'm curious to see how this division plays out. But having the Steelers 3, that's not bad. They were my number 4. They were my worst team in the division.
Yeah, I mean, again, I'll say this.
It's not even like you said they bad. My bad. Not to say they bad. They're not bad. They're not bad. But they were, to my opinion, team wise. Like you said, they're just young, and they were out of the teams here, I think they're the low-key the worst, but they're not a bad team at all. Not at all.
I think, and I'll say I'll kind of speak for you a little bit, is what gives us less doubt is because Mike Tomlin just somehow finds a way to get this team to fight every year for a playoff spot. And I think what gives us less doubt, tremendously a lot more, is because of Pickett. I don't know where you have Pickett on your quarterback scale. I'd say very mid-packish based on what he did last year and how he rose that team up from the offense from the depths of hell. But he's still a question mark. That sophomore year is just what it is. And, he did good, but, like, nothing to really say for sure. Now, if this offense starts off, because this offense all the way was mid-pack last year, if he can even repeat what he did last year, I think that's, again, they have a chance to make the playoffs. And Mike Tomlin's going to do his damn thing. He's going to do his thing. But I think what needs to happen, if they want Kenny Pickett to have success and to get this, erase the doubt that a lot of people have with Kenny Pickett, is have the run game with Najee Harris spark the passing game. Najee Harris has to be everything of what we thought he was coming out of the draft, or what I thought he was, in order for this offense to be as good as what it can be. And if he doesn't have the success, then no one's going to put deep fronts against that passing offense. They're just going to sit back and wait for Pickett to fuck up. But in order to change, essentially to manipulate the defense, they're going to play against, they have to get Najee going off, and nothing will change until Najee really has that outside run game really going like it should. And if he's I'll say this, if he's not running for 1,400 yards next year, I am less confident in them making the playoffs because they have to have that goal. And that's where I stand with them. And I respect you having them fourth. I just can't think of the last time that the Steelers were dead last in the AFC North. So that's the only thing I will push back against your point. But we will go on to my number 2 team, and I've already kind of said it. The Ravens. The Ravens. I would say, one of the most improved teams in the entire NFL, I think, for a few reasons. Had a great draft, right? Zay Jones, I would say the second best receiver in the entire draft. You sign Odell, who's not, because of injuries, not the most dependable guy. But if Zay Jones can be your number 1, or you can groom him into the number 1, I'm okay with Odell being your number 2. I think that you change your offensive coordinator in Greg Roman, who sucked dick. Okay, big dick. He sucks. Okay, Greg Roman absolutely sucks, and I'm glad they moved on from him. I don't know much about the new offensive coordinator, but just making that change in itself, I think will help Lamar really bring more of the passing game into himself. And I think this is Lamar Jackson's big year. Like, I'm not talking his MVP year. I think this is as big as it gets for Lamar Jackson. And I'll be kind of disappointed if he doesn't have a good year. But having a new offensive coordinator, I think, will allow him to really bring out more of the passing game and not be so run dependent in Lamar Jackson. And you gotta have it. Him being pass first versus run. He's great at running the ball, but he's getting older. Like, I mean, he's still young. Don't get it, like, he's not old as fuck. But like, he needs to be. If you want sustainable success, he has to be pass first versus run. But be an absolute run threat at any time and point. I want to see, essentially, I want to see Philadelphia Michael Vick is what I want to see when it comes to Lamar Jackson. Not guaranteed we'll see that, but that's why I have so much confidence in this team. That defense is going to be great. It's going to be a little bit underneath where I expect the Steelers defense to be, but it's still going to be a good defense like it usually is most years. So that's where I'm at. What do you think? Caca. That's my Ravens sound.
I don't like the Ravens. I hate them.
Oh no.
I don't like Lamar. I think he
son.
run. I know he has a fucking cannon. But I just at quarterback, like, I'm not a big fan of his. I do like what they did in the offseason. I think, again, if they're gonna try to expand into the passing world of an offense, this is the time to do so. I just think we're fucking lying to ourselves, and we're just like, yeah, let's just hopefully he can change. That motherfucker's a runner. Let's not fugazi shit. He's not going to be the Eagles Michael Vick. He's going to continue being the Atlanta Michael Vick that everybody knows him to be, and he's going to continue to do that. He's going to throw when they fucking put 8 in the box. Yeah, he's going to throw that shit over your head for a long touchdown, and that's how he get his stats. But that shit is not about to happen where he's just sitting back there and throw. No, that shit is not about to happen. Let's not even lie to ourselves like that.
That's crazy, dog.
I think their defense is freaking suspect. Again, they lost a key piece in Marcus Peters. Yeah, they still kept Marlon Humphreys, but their safeties is I'm not a believer in them. I don't. I think in my opinion, they could be the worst team in this division. They really should be my worst team because I think the Steelers are going to have a better record. So I'm not a believer in the Ravens, not at all.
You don't believe in J.K. Dobbins, dog? You don't believe in Zay Jones? You don't believe in none of these guys? That's crazy.
They just, that run shit is just, it's a fatigue thing. I think that shit is like a mental. That's why nobody really wanted to go there. In a sense, it's not like, oh, they don't want to play with Lamar. He's not exciting. No, watching him fucking juke motherfuckers like he's playing Madden, that shit is fucking fire. It's just, that's why I don't expect it to change. You get what I'm saying? That's what Lamar does. We've been doing it since college. He's been doing it since the league. That's why nobody really wanted to put their hands on him when they got to the league, because it was like, what do you do with this? Again, not to say he can't throw. He can throw. He has a cannon. It's just, that's not who he is. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And he ain't the problem with the Ravens. It's everything else that they got going on. But again, it's also the pieces they got. I don't believe in no J.K. Dobbins. I don't believe in their running game. You could throw any running back in their system and they will look decent because of what they have run block wise and the attraction and the attention that Lamar has on the team. The same way if you put anybody in the Eagles system running wise, they could fucking get over 1,000 yards. Why? They have the best run blockers in the league. Yeah. I think that's what. I think Baltimore had that. Baltimore was a top rusher and top 5 team rusher every year because all they do is run the ball. So I don't think that's going to change now. It don't matter what offensive coordinator you got. You got to adapt to the quarterback and the players. And that team is just developed to run the ball. And again, I just think it only could get you so far, especially if you get to the playoffs. I don't expect a lot from them.
Again, the only part I'll push back because the impression that you have is the run. I'm not saying they won't run like that, but Greg Roman, I don't know if you're super familiar with him, but the way he ran his offense, which was very like it influenced that Ravens, like he was the Ravens offense essentially. Is he the way he uses running backs was very predictable. He just a lot of just inside zone type stuff and just super predictable bullshit. And he was the biggest implementer in having Lamar Jackson do quarterback design runs. And I think there will be a lot less of that. And I think they all understand the offense has to change. I think of course Lamar will still do some of the same shit he did before, but if the Ravens start out the year hot, just look for and understand that it is because they changed that offensive scheme, and that it's gonna look a lot different. I think from the years past because they did change the offensive coordinator. But with that being said, if you got any more comments on them, or are we straight? I know we've been running for a little bit of a long time. My number one team, the fucking Bengals, son, and I'm all for it, bro. You might as well say Joe Burrow is my daddy, dog, because Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow is that motherfucking guy. He is my favorite quarterback in the entire league as of right now. I like him more than Patrick Mahomes, and I love watching Patrick Mahomes play. Like I think Patrick Mahomes is obviously he's a better quarterback because he's got fucking Super Bowls. But Joe Burrow is my favorite quarterback to watch. He is my favorite quarterback to pay attention to. I mean, he's the number one reason why I believe in the Bengals. But one thing I will say is do not sleep on that Bengals defense because I think they've proven time and time again when it's go time, they bend but they do not break. And they do a great job, specifically in the playoffs, of just doing a great job of not getting ran the fuck over. Like they stand their ground. Underrated player on that defense, I think Jermaine Pratt they re-signed this year. Just he's the cleaner upper. Like if shit is going down, you can bet he's there. If a tight end needs cover, he's right there. If a running back is chopping up that defense, he's going for it. But I mean, again, Joe Burrow is that guy, and he is gonna lead that team to the playoffs every fucking year. And hopefully he's not hurt like too bad. Hopefully it's just like a calf strain or some shit like that. Hopefully it's nothing crazy. If it's not, I have the Bengals as my number one. They are the team to beat and the only team that is a actual threat. Yes, Buffalo Bills fans, I said it, that the Bengals, Cincinnati Bengals, because of Joe Burrow, is the only team that can prevent the Kansas City Chiefs from winning another Super Bowl. And that's absolutely what it is. Don't argue with me. Argue with your mama because she don't like you either. So, go ahead. What you got, big dog? Give your number one first. Give your number one before you talk about the Bengals because I think we disagree.
I had the Browns and Bengals tied for one. I honestly did. I had the Browns and Bengals tied for one. But again, I understand and respect. That's the key word for me with this team is respect. I don't like them. I honestly probably hate them more than I do the Ravens.
That's wild.
I don't like Joe Burrow, but I do respect the guy. That's the one thing. If you could say I hate on anybody in this league, as in the NFL, I hate on Joe Burrow. I don't hate him. I hate on him because of how he does shit. Because he is a good quarterback.
Like what? Give some examples. Give some examples. Why? What you hate about him? Because I think this is spicy.
Playing. Well, first the team that drafted him, he came into a perfect situation. They drafted him. And then they drafted his wide receiver from college. They made the situation easier for him to transition from college to the NFL. They make your quarterback happy. Your quarterback is happy. Your team is going to be good. It's going to be happy. And they did that perfectly. Their coaching situation with Joe Burrow was perfect.
Zach Taylor.
I think he knows what he could have got out of him, and he's getting it out of him. And again, the fact that now, like you said, consistently, you have to throw them in the conversation every year, move it for the next at least 5 to 7 years while they keep that core together. bothers the fuck out of me because it's just like it's a good respect thing situation in the sense of that's how good they really are. And again, they're young, so they ain't going nowhere. The only person that could possibly be on the move is Joe Mixon, or they're gonna have to try to replace him in about 2 years. But that Jamar Chase and T Higgins and all that, bro, they're gonna keep that core together. If somebody got to take a pay cut, and like you said earlier, I'm glad you said that, and somebody pay somebody under the table, they will be the ones to do that shit. That's why I don't like them, because the simple fact that core is just so intact and so perfectly fit it bothers me. It's like, why did y'all fucking play franchise mode in Madden and get the 2 first round picks and say this is what we're going to do? That's what the fuck they did, and I love it, and that's why I hate them. But I think it's a good team or great team, and again, if you say that that's who's going to win the division, I respect it. I mean, like you said, the stats and the history and everything kind of shows it right now.
You know, Joe Burrow is what everyone wanted. I see your face right now. It's hilarious. Joe Burrow is everything that everybody wanted Andrew Luck to be. And the number one including fact is he's not going to give up on his team and retire early. And he's going to continue to have success. He reminds me so much of the Tom Brady, the Peyton Manning type of quarterback. And I would say if he didn't end his career on being better than them, I wouldn't be surprised. I know that's going very far, but like
yes, it is. Whoa, I had to wait for that to process. Whoa, what?
But Joe Burrow just seems. It's gonna seem like I'm dick riding a little bit, but he is heaven sent as a quarterback, and I think even if he didn't have. If he didn't have as great of a receiving core, like let's just say T. Higgins just got hurt or something like that, he will make the best situation of any receiver that he has. I think he will make it work no matter what receivers he has. You know, as great he has Jamar Chase, great. Tyler Boyd, great. But if he didn't have them, his first year, man. This man was throwing the no-name tight ends. Literally, he would just watch them cross the field and just make plays happen. And that's what gives me so much respect is because he's grown with this team. It's not like that you say the team was just created as soon as he got there. But like that, to me, it wasn't a case in his first year. And he was still balling out. And the fact that he can still, every playoff time, come around and be right there with Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City that almost seemed like an impossible team to beat. He's got all the respect for me. I just can't, man. He's just my favorite quarterback, and damn near, man. He's just crazy, man. Crazy. I'm not trying to dick ride too much.
I was about to say, did he nut yet? Did he fucking nut yet? Because you've been riding him for a fucking minute. Holy shit.
Well, I mean, if Deshaun Watson is going to win the fucking division, I mean, I'm sure he nutted a few times. Like, bro, just unlimited. Bro got infinite ammo. He just be He's nutting on everybody. If I'm dick riding fucking Joe Burrow, you dick ride fucking Deshaun Watson. No, and I think they're going to be the thumbnail for this week's episode. Absolutely. Any more last comments before we end it? Even if you got a message for the fans or you just put a fucking bullshit, go ahead. Get your shit out. Fighting this up.
Herbert is better than Joe Burrow.
Disrespectful ass bitch.